And I remember it because it was the day after Kurt Cobain had died. I'd seen that on the news in the pub the night before. That's about all I remember from the night before. I was blind drunk. Um, I was 13. Yeah. Uh, Still really shocks me to think that I was drinking to that extent at such a young age. And it wasn't just a one off, I remember that that was a regular occurrence. Um, anyway, I'd woken up and I was in this tree house. I had no idea where, I'd not been there before. And I was really ill, really hungover. And this treehouse was lovely. It was full of little cushions and throws and sofas, and it was really well thought out. But there was no one else there, so I dragged myself up and out and down into the main house, and there were Alice's parents making breakfast, and it was the oddest thing. I'd never been in an environment quite like that before. Everything was made from wood and copper and brass, and it was really colourful. There were all these really rich, bright colours. And I suppose now I would probably describe it as bohemian or new age, but I just had no idea of those concepts at the time. And and I remember thinking just that Alice's parents were so incredibly calm, and and they were looking at me and they were asking me if I was okay. But really asking me, they weren't saying, "Are you okay, you drunken trollop?" I was obviously hungover. They were really looking at me with this sincerity, this they were just waiting. They weren't judging me, they weren't preempting me, they were just waiting to hear whatever I had to say. And it was weird for me. I suppose I was so used to being in this constant atmosphere of constant tension and pressure and accountability. I was expected to speak, but only ever to give the right answers. And I often felt as though I didn't have a voice. I suppose I was, too young. What would I know? And if I was unhappy, it was probably because of something I'd done. Um, and then I was consequently in this perpetual state of indignation, constantly prepared to retaliate, to defend myself. And here I was in this place of no expectations, just genuine space to be heard. And I found it quite unnerving, actually. I didn't quite know how to respond. And I just remember thinking, I was just so surprised that this existed, this completely different mode of living, of communication. I didn't know people could be like this. And Alice's dad said, "Did you hear about Kurt Cobain last night? Isn't that sad?" And I remember thinking, I knew how my parents would have reacted to that news if I'd woken up at home that morning. "Did you hear about Kurt Cobain last night? Stupid man. Well, that's what drugs do to you." And here was the complete opposite. No judgment, just pure compassion.